Going live. Good morning, everybody. Going live. That was the name of the show, I think, with Gail Porter. I'm pretty sure it's called Going Live. Saturday morning. Does anyone remember? Morning, everyone. Morning, Becky. Morning, Margaret. Welcome to the Sawalha-Adderleys household. We are going to be entertaining you. No, not for an hour. No, not for 2 hours. For 2.5 hours of your Saturday, guys. You're going to have this. We're going to trot you through the newspapers. And then the girls are in the kitchen and they're going to be doing more price-busting recipes.
Let's hear it for the girls.
Let's hear it for the girls and the boys. And at 12 noon, our review of Bridget Jones, Mad About the Boy, will be landing at noon. So...
First of all, girls are in the kitchen doing a bit of knitting. In comes a burglar and pushes her out.
Ooh, I thought you were going to take that down the, what was it? The Secret Diary of a Window Cleaner. I thought you were going, but you like those old movies, don't you, Dina? Yeah. The Good Life. Oh, I love shows that are so politically incorrect. We can't watch them anymore. Oh, it's just wonderful. So anyway, so yes, and also in the Curly Cooks today, they are going to be announcing the winner of the personally tailored apron for those of you who are family friends, and the name of the winner is going to be threaded into the apron by Dina once she's drunk a bottle of tequila, because I think that will be more entertaining to see what she does when she's absolutely annihilated drunk with your apron. So anyway, so lots and lots and lots coming up. So let's take you through the papers rather than you going down the shops looking at which paper should I get, which piece of gobshite nonsense should I wade through, and then coming out the shop 6, 7, 8, 9 quid worse off. I thought I'd take you through all the papers. Let's take you through the best and the worst and the ridiculous and the let's just look at the propaganda, shall we? Anyway, so front of the Daily Mail, free speech is in retreat in UK, warns Trump's VP. I just wanted to, this is a very dry headline, but the reason I wanted to pull this up is this is on the front of the Daily Mail. It's on the front of the Telegraph. VANCE, free speech in Britain is in retreat. VANCE launches blistering attack on Europe's leaders. I just want to pause for a second. Is this the vice president whose president disallows certain news broadcasters into the Oval Office and into the White House because they ask questions, and he's coming over to Europe and telling us about free speech? Oh, what a load of fucking knob jockey nonsense, if you don't mind me saying. I just want to ask, I know a lot of people here, we have a broad church of political beliefs. When Muppets like Vance are standing up going, yeah, free speech has gone, we have no free speech, and yet he's supporting all of the far right politics and parties in Europe. Isn't far rightness diametrically opposed to free speech? This free speech, I'm getting really confused, and I want you to help me. I don't understand why people who seem so restrictive, for example, Trump, Vance, the Reform Party, Suella Braverman, they don't want anyone to protest about Palestine. That's against free speech, isn't it? So what free speech are we talking about? Because can a Reform supporter here tell me what is the free speech that they're so worried about? What free speech is being disallowed? I don't know. I literally, it doesn't mean anything. These headlines don't mean anything. Free speech is in retreat. You might say, what does it mean? What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. So you've got the Daily Mail. And all I think is when I see it on the front of the Daily Mail, I just think, oh, God, it's just political nonsense. They're trying to say we're all so politically correct. We can't say what? It's the far right, and it's the Reform Party and the Tories and the absolutely sold out Labour Party that are trying to prevent, say, the Free Palestine movement from having any speech. But he's not talking about that. He's not talking about that. Leaning more right is not far right. They don't know what they're talking about. They ain't from the UK. They're just assuming to me. It just doesn't make any sense. France, free speech in Britain is in retreat. I mean, this coming from a country where he's disallowing.
Your own country, very
He's
much.
disallowing people. I mean, basically, he's using as a main argument. It's a very sort of rarefied example. He's talking about an anti-abortion campaigner who was imprisoned in the UK and was disallowed to be within 150 yards of various abortion clinics. I mean, come on, you're really it's a clutching at straws moment. We're losing the right to protest from these people who are claiming that we need free speech. They only want their free speech. This is what it's about. Free speech. When you hear people saying we want free speech, it's only about whatever their free speech is. No one else's. It's just ridiculous. It means nothing. VANCE launches.
Like really into what's going on in America at the moment. We've started doing a new series called Trump's America, and it's good, really good, I think. And there's a big explosion yesterday that we'll do on the next one. I was just listening to.
VANCE,
it's starting to implode on itself.
VANCE launches blistering attack on Europe's leaders. Europe's biggest threat is itself. So once again, what he's basically done, he's come over and he's basically tried to weaponize migration yet again in Europe. He's basically all of his words are there to support far right parties like the one in Germany. Germany at the moment is literally on a cliff edge, and I know and it's really important to remember there are so many people in Germany, Nina, who are pushing against what they Germans feel is a lurch towards far right fascism. And when you've got this muppet coming over saying Europe's biggest threat is itself, he's just stoking the fires of far rightness. What they want, MAGA wants Europe to be mega. That's what they want. So the world has now been told, kneel at the altar of MAGA. Trade wars, tariffs. I mean, this is interesting. So, for example, Trump has already indicated to Keir Starmer that he will leave, forget NATO, Europe, you're on your own, unless Britain buys all of its armory, arms, and weaponry from America.
Wow.
This is literally Robert De Niro walking around downtown New York holding up businesses. This is New York mobster style. This is what this is. Terrible. So the world has now been told, kneel at the altar of MAGA. But look at this. This is interesting. Nadia also sent something of this earlier today to me. If you go just outside Donald Trump's Oval Office, there's a framed picture of Donald Trump's mugshot in the hallway. This very much is seen as this, he wants this to be an empty, how we always used to say, as soon as you think you're throwing a fireball at Donald Trump to take him down, he gets the fireball, he whips it up and he hurls it back at you. The biggest mistake everyone made was hunting him down. I'm telling you, if you just let him, the only way to deal with narcissists is to not talk about them. It's the only way. And then the Democrats, in their own stupid hubris-like desire to pull him down, they shot themselves in the foot. I said it from the beginning. All those kind of Pelosi's are all like, well, we've got to get him. No, you don't. Let him go. Let him wilt on the vine and disappear. Ugh. And this is a good. I like this. This is an animation for those of you listening on podcast. What are they saying? This is Europe and Zelensky and Starmer trying to look down the end of the table with binoculars at Putin and Trump, because basically Putin and Trump are deciding Europe's fate, aren't they? And Ukraine's fate and the rest of the world's fate. It's two massive egos basically massaging each other. Meanwhile, we're still in the aftermath of the most remarkable footage we've ever seen in the Oval Office. Elon Musk's mini-me, who's seen so many SpaceX launches, he only counts backwards. And his first words were, "Car, look it, Daddy," in that order. Car, look it. I still can't quite get my head around the fact that we watched a press briefing in the Oval Office with a toddler wiping his bogies on the president's desk. I mean, I literally can't get my head around that. With Elon Musk talking about condoms.
Yeah, but don't forget what he was saying to Trump as well.
No, I know. There he is with his hands around his. That's an image on the top right there. If you're listening on podcast, there's an image of him with Grimes, Grimes is the mother of this child. Imagine, as Nadia keeps saying, imagine how difficult that is to watch. And by all accounts, what Musk is about at the moment, what he's trying to do is to repackage himself, reformulate himself, and present himself as the father figure. As a father. I mean, I've got genuine concerns that he could run for president after Trump. I've got the most terrible fear. But has he got enough of a personality for that? Yeah, no, you're right. Elon's son also said to Trump, "You're not the president. You need to go away." Does anyone else feel it's so strange that despite this little, and I have toddler terror. I mean, and he's a frightening toddler. I mean, I swear to God, he gives me Child's Play Chucky vibes. That boy. But did you see his gold necklace, like a sort of, like a tiny hip hop artist?
Used as an accessory.
An accessory to what? Anyway,
you know what? Because he's from a wealthy family, his treatment won't be questioned. But I question that.
But the weirdest part of the whole strange scene in the Oval Office was this, and we know why, because he's beholden to him. But I'm amazed that even Trump could bite his lip. Was that Trump was so compliant and silent? It was almost like, I mean, when is he ever quiet?
He looked like a granddad that wanted to implode.
Yeah.
Like,
so funny. Moving on, today is the 5-year anniversary of Caroline Flack's tragic passing. So the front of the Mirror has a piece quoting Caroline Flack's mum, saying, "My Caroline is still saving lives 5 years after she died." These are the charities that have been set up in her name afterwards. Caroline would be so proud. Her story is helping others. And yeah, just a timely reminder of how time passes. My God, tragically sad, tragically sad. So the Mirror is leading with the 5-year anniversary, and her mum is paying tribute in there. I hope people who read her story will see her life was wasted and may think twice about ending theirs. That's how I want Carrie to be remembered, for inspiring people to live. Always important to hear, and always important to remember. Tragically sad. Moving into the pages, the other big news story yesterday in London, in Marylebone, was the firehouse. What's the name of it? The Chilton Firehouse. Really curious in that its name kind of almost, I mean, I think it used to be a fire station. Diners were evacuated from Chilton Firehouse as a blaze swept through Britain's most famous celebrity restaurant and hotel on Valentine's Day. Popular venue for, and there was a Netflix party for the BAFTA Awards was going to be there tomorrow. It's based in Marylebone. And smoke was spotted towards the end of lunch. And so a lot of the papers are running with this. A-list venue wrecked, Netflix BAFTA party off, 100 flee blaze. I don't know. Have you ever been to the Chilton Firehouse, Nat?
No, I always wanted to. Just to have a look.
Just have a look, yeah. It's so exclusive. Even Nadia Sawalha off the telly hasn't been there. The Scandi gloom that's stealing all our sunshine. More grey days ahead. Basically, it's all the Scandinavians' fault that it's grey. I mean, yesterday, even my mum texted me and said, "Mark, sun." And I thought she was talking about me. She wasn't. She was saying that, "Oh, look, there's the sun."
Oh, it's so, I came out of 30 big towers and I was like, what the hell's going on?
It was so nice. It was so nice. It was just like, thank God. But now the Scandinavians have gone and fucked it all up again.
Why?
Their latest depressing offering is an eponymous area of atmospheric pressure called Scandi pressure. Experts reckon that the so-called Scandinavian high weather system is the reason why we're experiencing 30% less sunshine. It's all those miserable bastards in Sweden. Sod off. 1 in 5 girls born in 2030 will celebrate their 100th birthday, apparently. This is due to improvements in lifestyle, drinking less alcohol, but major fly in ointment is asteroid heading to Earth, hitting us in 2031. Depends where it lands, really. I mean, have you seen there is this asteroid that the likelihood of it striking us has doubled in the space of a week? And now all of these kind of boffins are looking at it more closely and going, fuck me. If that hits, it's going to take out a city the size of Manchester. But anyway, parking the asteroid to the side, 1 in 5 girls specifically, because let's face it, the strongest sex are girls. Going back to Donald Trump's executive order that all genders will stay specific to what they are upon conception, that means there's no men anymore because we're all girls at the point of conception. 1 in 5 girls born in the UK will celebrate their 100th birthday, but do they want to? Do they want to? Lifestyle changes such as falling smoking rates, drinking less Chardonnay. As we discussed yesterday, Bridget Jones would not make 100. Bridget Jones would already be dead by now. The projections are lower for boys, but still indicate a rise with more than 1 in 8 males born in 2030 living to celebrate their centenary. An improvement in mortality rates. I don't know, look, I love old people and we're all going to get old and all that kind of stuff. And nothing, you don't want any. But do we want more and more old people wandering around? I don't know. I just don't. Well, those statistics don't allow for many things like road accidents and foxes. Do you know what I mean? Churches lose £500,000 worth of silver. Always wondered about this. Always wondered about when you walk into a pretty little village and there's a church and it's open. And you think, fuck me, how's anything stayed in here? I mean, everyone nicks everything these days, don't they? I mean, every bloody, it's not shoplifting, it's God lifting. Silver worth more than £500,000 has been stolen from churches last year as thieves took to plundering. I mean, there's a simple solution: lock the doors. Just don't have open churches. I mean, who does that? You do that thing where you have a fiddle with the lock and you're like, oh, we can go in this church. Let's go in and be quiet for 3 seconds and then we all get bored and then we leave. In August, silver items worth an estimated £90,000, including a bishop's hooked staff known as a crozier, was stolen from Sherborne Abbey. Isn't it terrible? Not even religious venues. I mean, let's face it, so many wars have been fought over religion. Maybe it's payback. I don't know. £7,500 for worker who found British Library too loud. I kid you not. The British Library has had the book thrown at it. See what they did there? After a worker complained it was too noisy. Lydia Kogut has been awarded £7,500 by an employment tribunal because she wasn't given a quiet place to work in the library.
What?
Fucking hell.
Once or over years?
Once. Failed to move her to a quiet office. She was awarded, in his ruling, the judge said Miss Kogut's claim that the British Library failed to make a reasonable adjustment to provide her with a quiet location within its premises succeeds in accordance with the Equality Act.
Why was he in prison? Because she was a woman?
It doesn't make sense, that, does it? Hush. It's a funny headline, though. Look at this. Hush money. Do you get it? I'll tell you what, no library my mother ran was quiet. It failed to. The British Library houses more than 170 million items. Miss Kogut was awarded, it doesn't make it, for not being given a quiet, maybe she was a permanent worker and she needed a permanent space. I think the idea that you go there to do some quiet study and then you get £7,500. Sorry, I'm just having a minor heart attack. Don't worry about it. Black Sabbath, combined age 303, cost of one ticket to their final gig, 834 quid. Can he stand on stage and perform, though? That's the question. Ticket prices for Black Sabbath's final ever gig may have reached an eye-watering £834, but that didn't stop them selling out within 16 minutes. Wow. That's quite a price, isn't it? I mean, but then again, so was a waste. It's their final ever gig. I mean, he said it's their last gig. I do love his face. That's why I've put it there. Look at it. Just screaming like a nutter. Just taking a sip of coffee, moaning coffee, if you're wondering what the hell happened there on podcast. Moving on. Very pricey. Harrods are selling strawberries for £180.
Of course they bloody are.
It looks like the world's gone fucking insane. They don't say that. I do. If you have
the world's starving,
yeah.
for God's sake.
It was out with the chocks and tulips from the garage yesterday as the super rich spent £180 on a box of straw. I fucking hate strawberries.
It makes me so sick.
Every time I see a strawberry, I want to punch it.
Shame on those people.
And when people say dip them in chocolate, I want to punch them too.
Strawberries and chocolate.
For 24 of the Japanese delicacies, it worked out at £7.50 per strawberry. We got hold of a tray from the Central London store, but how did they taste? Tested against a £2.25 punnet of Aldi's It's no surprise that the ones from Harrods were rosier, larger, sweeter, softer, and perfectly ripe. Who thinks strawberries are overrated? Do you know that apparently there's something in strawberries that's actually very bad for you?
So the only strawberries are go and pick your own.
Pick your own. Sorry, just going to have another little bit of coffee. There's a lot of love here for our coffee moaning cup, Nads. Okay, well, if the strawberries have driven you mad, this story is going to drive you even more insane. Listen to this. Knightsbridge parking space, right? A parking space in a underground car park in Knightsbridge. Do you want to know how much it costs? £125,000. A Knightsbridge parking space is yours for the price of a 3-bedroom flat in Manchester. So if the strawberries aren't screaming iniquity and lunacy, that parking space there, 5 meters by 2.5 meters, costs you £125,000 to have. What's striking about this shot is there isn't a car in it. Either that means they're out for the day or they don't even park their car there. A parking space in Knightsbridge, £125,000. I literally can't get my head around that. The next headline, I literally pulled it, not because it's an interesting story. It's a stupid story, but I like the headline. It's a funny one. Jail attacks saw, well, this isn't funny. Jail attacks saw 63%, very specific there, after chips are dropped from the menu. So the Mirror has gone with a headline, assault and vinegar. Oh, dear me. Jail batterings have, I mean, I can't believe the language they look. Jail batterings have gone up since chips are taken off the menu. Don't ever take chips off any menu that Maddie's eating. I'll tell you that right now, straight up. And in terms of battering of an entirely different type, big news coming out of Japan, guys. Any Japan fans here or people from Japan? Look at this headline. Woman held over bun squashing. A woman in Japan has been arrested for allegedly squashing a bun at a convenience store and leaving without buying it. Good God. The 40-year-old was arrested on Monday for criminal damage to a bun. I kid you not, in Fukuoka. She said she was unemployed and claimed she was only checking the firmness of the bun. I would imagine this is how Dina checks buns. She was only checking the firmness of the bun by pressing lightly, but it might have crushed it. Woman arrested for bun squashing. Check that story. That's insane. See, I thought it might have been a nubbin on someone's head. Extreme weather, all the fucking Swedes' fault.
I like the Swedes.
Yeah, well, they're they've got a real problem with far-right nutters at the moment, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Extreme weather to bring volatile food prices in 2025. Arabica coffee Arabica coffee prices have increased dramatically, as has cocoa. Let's have a look at the price increases. Let's just look. Wow, look at that. So chocolate and coffee going through the roof. Might put you off getting our coffee cup now. Wallowing in despair, try lemonading to boost resilience and put the fizz back in your life. This is the idea that lemonading is a new mindfulness idea.
What is that?
Lemonading is, rather than wallowing in an acerbic soup of despair, researchers suggest that you need to introduce playfulness into all things that you do in your life. They don't necessarily do different activities or do them more often. Just try and do things more deeply with greater immersion, mental engagement, and joy. Making lemonade is one of those things. I can't say making lemonade is my idea of playfulness. I think dressing up in weird clothes, that's my idea of playfulness. Did I tell you the story of a piece of our household furniture being removed and a pair of by the council and a pair of handcuffs falling out? The embarrassment, Nads. The embarrassment. It was from one of the kids' fancy dress parties. Celestine has been hosting parties in our absence. New for old, youngsters find their escape in retro games. Nintendos. Oh my God, what I do for an old-fashioned Atari console. Being a Spurs fan is so depressing. In fact, it's so depressing, even Kim Jong-un has got involved. Kim Jong bans Spurs. And I do have to laugh as a Spurs fan. To be fair, his people have suffered enough. Obviously, this is Kim Jong-un. He's banned Tottenham Hotspur matches from being shown in North Korea because Spurs are captained by South Korean icon Son Heung-min. If we didn't have Son, we wouldn't have scored barely any goals this year. So even Kim Jong-un is relegating Tottenham. Yeah, don't blame Marco. Don't blame him, to be honest. He knows the heartache of who knows the true heartache of being a Spurs fan. Sorry, just a moment there. Bridget Jones, stay tuned to our channel today, noon today. Our review is landing. 8 in 10 older women wear big knickers like Bridget. Now, to be fair, Nads doesn't wear big knickers, to be fair. Mad about the body. You don't have big knickers, do you, Nads? Most middle-aged women like to keep up with the... Do you wear Bridget Jones like those?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, shit. Oh, hang on a minute. Let's have a look. Yeah, you managed to make big knickers quite sexy, actually.
Oh, God.
Yeah. What's wrong with that? What? That was on a par with Shirley. I am. Yeah. No. You're just desperate. Yeah. You're not wrong, Dina. Most middle-aged women like to keep up with the Joneses when it comes to wearing big knickers, apparently. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Really, the point about what you wear, for me, was kind of drilled into me at a young age by my nan. Make sure when you get hit by a bus, Mark, you're wearing clean pants. It's like, all right, Nan, thanks for that.
Well, becoming more and more like a football manager.
Wear clean pants. These photos are doing the rounds everywhere. Meghan and Harry kissing. Prince William really reaching for the kiss. I think Prince William is kind of trying to emulate the Donald Trump kiss under the hat there. I think it's, sweet. Are they, the press are trying to make out that they're sort of, up against each other, competing. I don't think, to be fair, I don't think Meghan's, of those two kisses, I prefer Meghan and Harry's. There you go. I don't want to be rude, but William's head looks like the head of a turtle coming out of its shell, reaching inexorably towards the cheek, whereas the other two look genuinely in love. God almighty, controversial. Harry and Meghan look more in love than the king. Oh my God, don't say it. I could have caused an absolute fucking meltdown. Shut up. Nepo Island, new celeb kids show. Celebrity kids will be left on a desert island for a new TV show. That's it. They don't film it. They just leave them there. No, I'm joking. While their famous parents look on. Amanda Holden's daughter is in it. Vernon Kay's daughter is in it. It looks like Mel B's daughter is in it.
Oh, God, we got asked to be in this.
Film and TV University student Phoebe Torture Fernand Strictly hosts Tess Daily. Oh, yeah, of course, because I don't think this is going to do anything good for Nepo kids. It's just going to make people hate them more. And I just thought this was funny. Best TV drunks. Apparently, Rod Stewart was on TV this week, annihilated drunk, which sounds great. Talking about football. But the Daily Star, as it's the Daily Star, has decided to look at the best TV drunks. As a recovering alcoholic, there's some Schadenfreude in this. I think one of the greatest has to have been James Brown's. Keith Floyd. Oh, Keith Floyd, but he was drunk at every show. Yeah, so obviously there's, what's his name? George Best on Terry Wogan. Oliver Reed was incredible. Yeah. Danny DeVito looked the worse for wear when he appeared on The View in 2006. He badmouthed George W. Bush before getting a nervous case of the hiccups. James Brown did a super bad job of acting sober during a 1988 chat with CNN's Sonia Friedman. He was not, hang on. James, if you've seen that clip, James Brown was not just drunk. He was off his absolute trolley and all sorts. Anyway, there you go. Look at that. Bang on half an hour. Brilliant. So in half an hour, the Curly Cooks are back. As I say, the winner of the apron prize is going to be announced. And on that point, the new poll and the new date for the next cook-along is going to be landing in the community tab or the posts area on the YouTube channel later today. And at noon today, you're also going to be getting our Bridget Jones review. So there you go, guys. Thanks so much. We'll see you in half an hour for more fun and jollity in the kitchen.